what's going on, Birdland? How are you? Welcome to another episode of Full Count Chaos. Always appreciate you taking the time to hang out as we talk some Orioles baseball. The Orioles are almost at the finish line. The 2026 season is almost finished. I'm tired. I need a nap. I need a long, soothing, leave me alone nap. You know, after this season, I feel like, I don't want to talk Orioles baseball. I don't want to see anything pertaining to Orioles baseball. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. Of course, I love the Orioles. I watch them every day. But man, I know you're tired. I need a nap. I need an Orioles nap. It's a long season. I feel like every season, of course, feels like a long season. But this one, 2026, it's just something there. It's just, this season knocked me out, man. I am tired. Want to hear from you. FullCountChaos at gmail.com. You can get a hold of me anyway at FullCountChaos on X, social media, Instagram. Go over there on YouTube where I'm doing the show right now. Over there on YouTube. Again, FullCountChaos at gmail.com. Sorry I wasn't with you last week. A lot I want to go over with you, especially some things that came up when I wasn't here. Would like to chat. I was away 7 days on a psychotherapy retreat. All they needed to know is I was an Orioles fan. 7 free days of speaking with psychiatrists on a beautiful island. It was wonderful. I needed that. No, I'm kidding, obviously. I was away on vacation. But I feel like that's something the Orioles should offer. You know, those those gambling sites have those numbers for, if you know anybody or if you feel like you're getting addicted to gambling or whatever it is. It's like you have to now, like if you're on a podcast, TV show, whatever it is, if you're promoting gambling sites, you have to give the 800 number for people who need help. And I feel like the Orioles should do that. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Masson TV. By the way, if you need help mentally because this season has just kicked you right in the teeth, right in the gut, in the private areas, here's an 800 number. Please call them. Because I feel like I should send the Orioles, like a bill. You know what I mean? Like for all of the energy and time that they have taken from me, I need to send them a bill. I wonder if anyone's ever tried to do that. Tried to sue a baseball team because of the pain and suffering that they put them through. Someone had to have done it by now. I have to look into that. But I would send them like attorney fees, like $120 an hour, 7 days a week, except for, the days that they don't play, of course. Although, even off days, like today, the Orioles aren't playing and I'm stressed. I got to take my time and energy to talk about the Orioles. But I should send them like a bill. Hey, this is what you owe me for all the time and energy and money that I put into the Baltimore Orioles. But yeah, a lot I want to go over. Pinsandaces.com. Don't forget, FCC25, 21% off. Get your golf apparel. I golfed the other day. Don't want to talk about it. It's one of those days where I come home. My wife says, how'd you do? I say, don't want to talk about it. But head over to Pins and Aces, FCC25, 21% off. DistillUnion.com, FCC25, 20% off. And, of course, OldGlory.com. Head over there, stock up on all the T-shirts, clothes, whatever. They have a million different options for T-shirts. You can make your own, whatever you want to do. FCC25, 15% off. And, of course, part of Belly Up Sports Media. All right, so I said before the Orioles started that 10-game series against the Rays, Yankees, and then back home with the Rays, I said if they can come away with a 500 record, I'd be relieved because I thought for sure the Orioles easily could have shit the bed, nail in the coffin, basically wrapped up this 2026 season, and then we'd just be here like, all right, let's just show them some support as we wrap up the Orioles season. But they came away with a 500 record, took care of Tampa, almost swept them in Tampa. The Yankees came in, spanked the Orioles, but because they had such a great series against Tampa, both series, here they are, 500. So yes, I'm relieved. Thankfully, here we are. The Orioles still scratching, still clawing. And I'm going to go ahead and put the wild card up here. As you can see, of course, nothing new. 2 games back. That's what we keep doing. Half game in the wild card. 1.5. 1 game. Just constantly all fucking season. But I just feel that we're going to have to count on the other teams to have a losing streak. The Orioles aren't going to go 4 of 5, 6 of 7, 5 of 5. They're just not. And if they do, they're going to do what they always do. The next couple games, they're going to lose 3 or 4 in a row. It's just in the Orioles' DNA. That is how it goes. But right now, they're 2 games out. And we're just going to have to count on the teams in front of us to shit the bed. That's basically it. Now, Texas is in the wild card. Texas has the most difficult schedule remaining this season. They're playing 15 games against teams with a winning record. So in the American League, Texas has the strongest schedule coming up. But then you got, then you got the Blue Jays and the Twins. 2nd and 4th easiest schedule in the American League. Blue Jays, they don't face a team, a single opponent with a record above 500 the rest of the way. Of course, the Twins, again, 4th easiest. So the Orioles better just start playing some baseball. And their next opponent, Tuesday, they're facing the Cardinals in St. Louis. Cardinals, look, I don't know. Who knows how hard they're going to be fighting? A lot of times when teams are out of it at this point in the season, they just want to play spoiler. They don't care who you are, who they're playing. They just want to fuck your day up. And pretty much that's where the Cardinals are. They're 66 and 66. 5 games back in the wild card. They're 16 games back in their division. They're pretty much out of it. Although 5 games, I wouldn't say stamps it. But they're pretty much that team right now where they're like, we're the spoiler. We just want to fuck your day up. Come on in, and we want to make all the fans very sad. Then they have the A's and the Rockies, who, it's the A's and the Rockies. They're both struggling terribly. 2 worst teams in baseball. That about sums it up. We don't got to break down their pitching, their offense or defense. They're a bad team. But both teams, they stink at pitching. But that just means probably when they face the Orioles, they're going to look like a bunch of Cy Young winners. That's what the Orioles do. Feel like if it's a pitcher that they're facing with a 7+ ERA, forget it. 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs. It's been like that all fucking season. Doesn't matter who the lineup is. It's so strange. But if you want to know, if you don't already know, the Rockies, they have a 6 ERA rotation. The A's, 5.35 starting rotation. They also have a struggling bullpen, both around 5 ERA. So you would think the Orioles should take care of business. They could cover some ground. They need to take care of business. Look, right before the Orioles played the Rays had a 9-game win streak. And these are the teams that they played. The A's, the Rockies. The Rays were hot. When we came into Tampa, they had a 9-game win streak. But it feels like it's sports, right? Anytime you see a team, 9, 10, 11-game win streak, you always feel to yourself, all right, well, they're due to lose. But anyway, these are the teams that Tampa took care of. But you got to remember, the Orioles already lost 2 of 3 against the A's earlier in the season. So when you look at the schedule, especially the way that the Orioles have been playing, man, you just don't know. But coming up, Orioles have 4 against Boston, 6 against Toronto, 3 against Brewers, 3 against the Yankees, and 3 against the Mets. And every opponent other than the Mets, they're all fighting for the playoffs. Orioles, you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. Fangraphs, they believe that the third wild card needs to be 81 and 81. Talked about this the other episode. The Orioles right now would need to go 15 and 16. Fangraphs have the Orioles ending their season at 15 and 16, which would make them 78 and 84, which if Fangraphs is correct, you need to be 81-81 for that third wild card. The Orioles wouldn't make it. How do you feel right now with the Orioles back? Do you feel confident? Do you look at that schedule and go, we're getting Blaze back? We might see Felix Bautista. The pitching's going well. Gunnar looks like he's slowly turning it around. Basayo's in the lineup. He hit a bomb the other night against Tampa to tie it up. Then they won in the extra innings. Are you starting to look at the glass half full? Fangraphs giving the Orioles making the playoffs 9%. But yeah, I want to hear from you. A lot going on here. A lot on my mind that I want to go over. Just, the Orioles have just been fighting to even get to 500. And it's crazy that we're sitting here going, well, they could make the playoffs. I know the Ravens season has started. I don't know. I just have so much rage towards Harbaugh. I don't know. I've just been so angry with him. Seeing that he took Falele over to New York and then they get rid of him after the first game. It's just like Baltimore sports are just making me angry. So I just had to take a week off. Go on a little vacation. Try to get myself back to 100% of pure happiness when I watch the Orioles or any Baltimore sport. But I'm excited about the Ravens. It's so funny when they ask any player on the Ravens, hey, how do you like these new coaches? They just start laughing, basically being sarcastic in a way of like, yeah, this is night and day of how it used to be with Harbaugh and that crew. I don't know. I hope, I hate to sound like an evil prick, but I hope the Giants just completely fall on their face. I don't know. I don't know why I have so much rage towards Harbaugh. Maybe I just feel like because he was such just a hardhead with, and I don't want to go down a Harbaugh rabbit hole. I have enough stress dealing with the Orioles right now. One more month of baseball. So we'll put the Ravens aside. The season hasn't even started yet, really. So all the anger that I have towards Harbaugh, who's not even coaching this team anymore, I got to kind of put that aside. We'll talk about that later. But that Yankees sweep, that was brutal. That was without Judge, Stanton, Bellinger, Fried. Whew. So the Orioles saw him at a pretty weak moment. Now, regardless of those guys out, the Yankees are the Yankees. Pitching, bullpen. They're good. They're a good team. The Orioles are 2-8 against the Yankees this season. And I did not go. I had a chance to go to the Yankees series. And I've talked about this plenty of times. I do not go to Yankee games. And call me a panty. Call me whatever name you want. A soft fan. I cannot fucking stand going to a Yankees game. A lot of Yankees fans at that series, by the way. But I can't stand. Over the years, too many bad experiences with Yankee fans. I just get too fucking angry. They're so annoying. And it feels like I go back and forth. It was between Toronto and New York for a while. I've been to a couple Boston games, and I got to say, I don't know. I didn't have that bad of experience with Boston fans. I don't know if it's just I have a high tolerance, or I'm sorry, my tolerance has changed over the years, but I didn't have any problem walking out of that stadium thinking, nope, Boston fans are the fucking worst. But it's always New York. And I'm never about violence. Never. Nope. Violence should never be involved regardless. But if I could have one mulligan, just one mulligan, like do something violent to someone, but then have like a remote control like that, that Adam Sandler movie. Isn't it called like Remote? But if I could just like be violent and then hit that remote, rewind, mulligan, all right, just walk by the fan, don't say anything. I would probably use that mulligan on a Yankees fan. But I just cannot go to Yankee games. I just can't do it anymore. It gets me too fired up. Oh, God. I used to say this all the time. Sport fans, we're crazy. We're all crazy. It's just a level of crazy. We all have our crazy moments with sports and our rituals and superstitions. I just cannot go to a Yankees game. But that was a brutal sweep. 0-6 on Tuesday with runners in scoring position, 4 hits. Scored 1 run from a Mayo home run. Wednesday, 6 hits, 3 runs. And then Thursday, 4 hits, 1 run. So just, that was not good. That's what I mean. The Orioles offense in the beginning of the season was supposed to be why the Orioles were going to be one of the best teams. And it's just ironic it winds up being pitching. But speaking of that game on Wednesday, I won't stay on this long, but I haven't talked to you guys all week. So this came up, of course, MLB replay with the Pete Alonso home run right here. That's Pete Alonso's home run. They use the technology, same tracking devices as they use with balls and strikes. They do when a ball is hit. Here it is. Anyway, I know everybody's been talking about this till they're blue in the face, and I'm a little late to the party, but it's just I haven't talked to you guys. MLB is absolutely, it's just horseshit. A lot of times I feel that they make the calls just to protect the umpires. Like, again, that's not a big conspiracy theory or hot take. It's just a lot of these replays. You go, how in the fuck do you keep the same call? But, that Pete Alonso home run, I just have to get this off my chest. Give me a minute. Because I need to vent with you guys. I mean, for fuck's sake. The fan was almost sitting in center field, it felt like, who caught the Pete Alonso home run. Every single fan came together in the matter of minutes after that call. And when Yankee fans and Oriole fans come together, shit's not going right with the league. And then MLB puts out a statement before the game's even over because they know they fucked up. You never see that. If MLB puts out a statement, it's either the next day, days later, not minutes later. So you knew right there they fucked up. I mean, that was terrible. I mean, of course, there are some Yankee fans who I think were just trolling. Oh, no, it wasn't a fair ball. Look at this angle. Fuck off. You're just trolling. Some kid laughing, watching everybody get mad. That's why I didn't get involved in those accounts on social media who are like, no, it's fair or it's foul. I wasn't going to be the guy to go, no, I'm going to try to change your mind. I had trouble going to sleep that night. I was so angry. I know the Orioles still lost that game 3-5, but that home run would have made the Orioles game 4-3. And then the momentum would have changed. I believe 1,000% that momentum matters so much in sports. So I got so mad. I went down a rabbit hole. I want to pull this up. Do I have this? No, I don't. Shit. I forgot to upload this. But there's 1,156 calls so far in 2026 requested replay. Basically saying, I don't agree with this call. Fucking change it. So 603 were overturned. Okay, that's more than 50%. So you look at that and you go, hey, Nate, looks like MLB overturns more calls, so they must be doing it right. No, this is how I look at it. 553 calls remain the same. So you're fucking telling me that 553 times the bench coach picks up the phone, makes the call, and says, this is wrong, right? Okay, looks at the manager and says, tell him to look at it because they got the call wrong. 553 times. You're telling me that replay was requested and the umpires were right that many fucking times? I'm sorry, but most managers don't want to lose their challenge. Unless they have a good idea, yeah, let's challenge this. 553 times, that's a lot. So I don't know, after that Pete Alonso home run, everybody was up in arms saying it should be fair, it's fair. How did they miss that? Palmer's on TV going, in 2026, how do they not have some sort of like radar, laser, or make the foul poles higher? However it is, you want to hear from the league, justify why you haven't fixed this. So it's easily to confirm whether it's a home run or not. Let me break it down to you like this. Sorry, I'm pretty fired up. I'm going to get past this, I promise. This is the last part of it I want to go over. So there are 16 different reasons out of those 1,100 replays that have been made. Basically what I mean is like tag play it first, hit by pitch, home run, catcher drop, fair or foul, hit by pitch. That's what I mean. So 16 out of those 1,156 replays that they've requested. 16 different plays that they asked for replay. You following me? Great job, Nate. Yeah, if you need anything explained, just reach out to me. I'll do a fabulous job. But anyway, the top 4 plays that have been requested for replay this year, number 4 is home run. How do you not look at that? And how are we still in 2026 still trying to confirm whether something was a home run with all the technology? And Trevor Rogers after the game said, it's simple. I think it was Chris Bassett. Shit, it was one of them where they said it's just money. That's all it is. That's why baseball won't fix it. It just has to do with money. Number 1's a tag play. Number 2's play at first. Number 3's hit by pitch. But the top 4 most requested replays is a home run. Baseball's got to fix this. They got to fix this. But anyway, moving on. Orioles won 5 out of 7 games. I appreciate you listening to me while I vent. The 5 out of 7 games against Rays in 1 week of baseball. Are you impressed? That's what I want to know. Does any of this impress you? Did you look at this Rays series in Tampa and in Baltimore and say to yourself, hey, this is a different team. I feel confident now. You know, what was your reaction? What was your reaction when you saw the Orioles August 16th in the 3rd wild card spot? Did you say, this is a different team, man. They want it. Can you feel it? Or did you just roll your eyes and just say, yeah, it's only a matter of time before the Orioles shit the bed and lose it? And that's exactly what they did. They lost 4 in a row, got swept by New York. It's so frustrating. Again, the irony, the offense is keeping the Orioles from winning constantly. Nobody would have guessed that coming into the season. The Orioles offense is the reason why the Orioles right now are not in playoffs and why they have a below 500 record. Man, when Pete cools off, because Pete Alonso is going to cool off. It's just how sports works. Baseball. Gunnar, Tyler O'Neill, Basayo, somebody, please, anybody, step up. Because this Orioles offense is going to be in some fucking trouble when Pete cools off. But did these 2 Tampa series, did they do anything for you? Did they get the orange juices flowing a little more? Because right before the Orioles saw Tampa, they, like I said earlier, they won 9 in a row. They were hot. But the Orioles left Tampa. Speaking of offense, let's just kind of break this down because you're looking at the 2 series. You won 3 out of 4 against Tampa. Give them credit. Tampa is one of the best teams in baseball. They're the best team at home in the American League. And the Orioles took care of business. 295 batting average that series. So they had a good series with the offense. Their average, so when they came home to play Tampa, their average, they ended with a 194. I don't know. Friday, let's see, where did I have this? Friday, they had a 286 average. Saturday, 229 average. And then, of course, Sunday, they had 2 hits with a 67 average. So that was the series against Tampa when they came home. It just kept getting worse and worse. 286 and 229, then, of course, 67. The O's just couldn't hit Nick Martinez at all on Sunday. That was a joke. But the Rays, it's so funny. The Rays' record against the American League East this season, they're 9-4 against the Blue Jays. They're 6-3 against the Yankees. They have a 500 record against the Red Sox, 5-5. But the Orioles are 5-8. I don't fucking know. Just tough to get excited. And when I always say that bad teams have good weeks too, they have good winning streaks. Look at the Royals. They had 7 wins in a row this week. They've won 8 out of 9 games. Like, they're hot right now. But they're a bad team. That's what I always say. It's difficult to get excited when the Orioles have a good series or a good week. Because it's like, that's just baseball. Bad teams have good series, have good weeks. Well, the Royals, 7 in a row. man, I just thought after that that Tampa series in Tampa 3-4, I said maybe they'll take 2 out of 3 against New York. They're feeling good. They're 2-8 against New York this season. They just can't figure it out. Then they lose 4 straight. They go to 6 games under. I mean, it's just quickly. Once they got in that wild card spot, just shit the bed. But that Saturday night win against Tampa, the Orioles down 2-0. Basayo, 2-run home run. Love that. Basayo comes back. He's already throwing guys out at second. He's crushing home runs. It's 2-2. Beavers walking up against Baker. I'm pretty sure that Brian Baker bookmarked my tweet because personally he's come after me, or not really attacked me. He just replied on a couple comments when he played for the Orioles, and I wasn't even shitting on Brian Baker. I've talked about this before, obviously. I just was breaking down some stats pertaining to his pitching when he was struggling. Boy, he didn't like that. He did not like that. So again, knowing that Baker, when he closed out the game in Tampa to keep the Orioles from sweeping them, he did the little crotch move. Look, let me say this. I did not realize that Brian Baker grabbed his crotch and looked at the Tampa dugout like Pozo did a couple days before. I didn't know he did that. So when I put out a tweet and said, "You ain't shit, Baker," I know that he reads social media, everybody commenting on Brian Baker on X. So I wasn't saying you ain't shit because you grabbed your crotch, because a lot of people are saying, well, if Pozo did it, Oriole fans can't be mad when he did it. That's not why I said that. But I saw someone bookmark my tweet about Brian Baker, just a funny tweet saying, "You ain't shit, Baker." And it was bookmarked. And I can guarantee you that was Brian Baker. But yeah, that was interesting. The game before, Pozo grabbed his crotch. He walks, looks at the dugout, Orioles dugout. And then I guess Tampa Bay and Baker remembered that. You know, the next game, yeah, Baker closes it out, does a little, I mean, he was fired up. Baker's always fired up. But he grabs his crotch, makes a gesture, of course, you know, doing what Pozo did the game before. Yeah, but Basayo, it's great to see him back, especially behind the plate. But he's just such a big guy. You don't want him being your everyday catcher. It's just so big. The injuries is a concern. You know, he's had 1 hit since he's been back, but that was a huge hit with the home run. But, you know, again, the Orioles could have swept Tampa again, but just had a bad game. Jackson Holiday, I'm sorry, he's starting to bother me on defense. Check this out. You don't want to see this from one of your players in the field. Look at that. Just terrible. Arm strength 13, range 39. That's not good. That is not what you want to see on your second baseman. Had a bad play. Even Palmer was like, hey, he's flat-footed. He's got to get that. And then all hell broke loose. Anyway, I want to hear from you guys. How do you feel? What's going on through your mind right now with the Orioles? As you hear now, Toronto, Minnesota in front of us. They have a very easy schedule. I know Texas, they have a difficult schedule, but, you know, I'm more worried about, I don't know, I guess Minnesota and Toronto worry me the most. But I want to hear from you. What's on your mind? FullCountChaos@gmail.com. Till next time. Hey!